to stop this rioting from pushing back, you know, a line saying, look, this is where the rioting must stop, we're trying to maintain the peace. But as you can see, they're being pushed back now. It doesn't really seem to be helping. Tear gas canisters on the street being kicked around by people dressed in black, some of them presumably the sort of self-declared anarchists who are fairly prevalent here in Athens, and some of them regular protesters.
These are just remarkable.
Firing from riot police, so I can't actually see that.
Yeah, we're looking at your camera and seeing those riot police moving into the street. We saw some sort of a fire. Somebody threw something, looked maybe a Molotov cocktail. Diana, one of the things that we've been discussing here is that the Greek parliament has no choice. The government has acknowledged what it has to do and that it is difficult, and they are debating it. And by the end of tomorrow, expectations around the world and certainly markets is that the Greek parliament will come through with these austerity measures, tax hikes, the privatization, the tax increases, the wage cuts, the job cuts. Clearly, these demonstrators are hoping to intimidate parliamentarians into doing something else. Is there any indication that it could work? In other words, could this have some effect on the debates going on in Parliament? Could they say, we just can't do this? The people clearly don't want us to do this.
Well, I think that it's fair to say that the people in that Parliament building are well aware of the strength of anger on the streets of Athens, whether it's from what they're seeing right now or from the sort of demonstrations, the scale of demonstrations they've seen in the past few days. But this morning I was actually speaking to one PASOK member of Parliament, that's the ruling party, who said that he is very much considering going against his party's wishes in the vote tomorrow. Precisely because he feels that the EU is trying to blackmail Greece and that there is far more room for negotiation here. He said, you know, there is no way, whatever Europe says, that they are going to forsake 350 billion euros worth of Greek debt for the sake of this 12 billion euro instalment. So however much Europe says, you know, this is your only option, you must vote it through. I cannot imagine that should that not happen, they won't have some kind of plan B up their sleeve. As you can see, sorry, just now, the tear gas really rising up for the central area in Syntagma Square. The fight going on right in front of my eyes here, and the tear gas pretty much blinding us up on this balcony position.
So in the streets, I mean, if you have to avert your eyes and move away, please do it for your own safety. So you have unions in the street, different unions, public sector and private sector unions. You have anarchists and sort of the usual groups that tend to draw, you know, come to these sorts of events. People who, you know, protest for the sake of protesting, but you have citizens who are also very concerned about what's happening. Government offices, schools, courts are all closed. Air traffic controllers periodically stopping work today, so you've got the air system, the travel system has been disrupted. Teachers, hospitals are working on skeleton staffs, but there are doctors, nurses, and hospital crews who also are abiding by this 48-hour strike as well. So the country has come to a halt, essentially.
And Diana said that it's too early to tell. From her vantage point, she's not seen any casualties, any injuries or deaths because of this. But of course, the pictures are dramatic, and she says she's not seen to date as much aggression toward camera crews that are there. So again, we're going to continue to follow this. We're going to take a quick break, and we will check back in with what is going on right now as protesters take to the streets of Athens, Greece.
52 minutes after the hour.
When I went in for none of our stuff is ever really rehearsed. It's all off the cuff, and what you hear is pretty much what you hear. And see, the ideals we come up, you know, right there on the spot. So, and I usually pull out the magic pen and say good grace to God, and I hope He helps me through this song and to do the best, you know, because like I said, I've always looked up to the best, you know. You name them, you know, Mick Jagger, David Lee Roth, Steven Tyler, you know, just to go name a few. I love Jack Bruce's voice, you know, and so on and so on. And I just started developing with my guitar player, Mike Butler, and without him I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. And we've been growing and growing through the years, and I hope there's a lot more in me. Yeah, because I'm not dead yet, and that's about the the history of the making of the music to this point, and I guess the rest will be history.
Ken, tell us about the album you just did, some of the Soul Collector stuff, Lawnmower Man.
Well, Lawnmower Man, that came above, I went to Aussie Fest, and this was the version without Zach Wild, and he had Gus G. And at the beginning of the show, they had some opening acts, you know, and Rob Halford, he was a particular one, and